Tonight on Q2, solving a shortage.
We only have a 3% vacancy rate now. We were about a 30% vacancy rate 2 years ago.
The Billings Clinic attempting to solve a crisis as nurses become more and more difficult to find. Plus, a Magic City standoff.
They did deploy a less lethal shotgun one time and then ended up also releasing one of the canines.
Broadwater Avenue shut down for hours today. We'll explain why. And a Montana mountain adventure.
I just refuse to give up. It's not in me to give up.
One man overcoming adversity, planning a 21-mile hike through the mountains without any legs. The MTN 530 News on Q2 starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Charlie Klepps. 193,000. It's a staggering number, and that's how many openings there are expected to be for registered nurses in this country each year from now until 2032. But tonight, some progress here in Montana. Our Marcus Kakova checks in on the nursing shortage here in our state, which is drastically improving from just a few short years ago.
The soul of a nurse is fiercely gentle, bringing a calm wisdom into a space terrified by mortality. You stare into the face of death every day and offer a reassuring smile of the presence of solemn strength that does not crumble. The hands of a nurse are beautiful, strong, and gentle. Chloe, may God bless these hands and the healing that you bring.
And hands like these, blessed hands, have been in short supply.
The stress of the pandemic was number one. The amount of patients that were so acutely ill and the amount of patients that actually died during that period of time were extremely stressful to our nursing workforce.
Billings Clinic is turning things around for Montana's nursing shortage, offering a mentor and support program for nurses in their first year.
It really is a way that we're able to bring them in and train them as they become new nurses, and then that has decreased our nursing shortage here at Billings Clinic.
2 years ago, Billings Clinic had 120 registered nurse openings waiting to be filled. A 30% vacancy rate, now down to just 3%. Today, 32 nurses present the research and further close the gap between care and demand, graduating into the next 40 years of healing.
So this year, between May and August, we've actually hired 99 new grads that will be entering into practice here at Billings Clinic and will be participating in those residency programs.
With new blood comes new ideas.
It amazes me every single cohort, their ideas, their thoughts, and how they're going to bring change into a workforce that sometimes we're like, we've done it this way forever.
Basically, we're just trying to keep people out of going to skilled nursing facilities after their open heart surgery, and they can actually go home and spend time with their family.
Whether new or experienced, every nurse seems to inherit one key trait, something that can't be taught.
Why be the people who are going to counter that?
Passion.
Why not? Someone's got to do it, right?
It's truly the most rewarding job I've ever had.
Marcus Kakova, MTN News.
That mentor and support program at the Billings Clinic is just one part of the solution. The hospital has relied heavily on international nurses to help fill the shortage. Billings Clinic has had contracts with dozens of nurses from places like the Philippines, Thailand, Kenya, Ghana, and Nigeria in recent years. And the hospital is just one of the scores of hospitals across the U.S. who have looked abroad to ease the nursing shortage. Foreign-born workers make up about a sixth of the U.S. nursing workforce. A section of busy Broadwater Avenue was closed for several hours this morning as police were involved in a standoff. Our Mac Carmack was on the scene and has the details of what transpired.
One of the busiest streets in Billings, Broadwater Avenue, was closed for almost 3 hours today after a man was pulled over for what seemed like reckless driving in a DUI situation. The suspect has now been detained by K-9 units and a non-lethal weapon.
No shots have been fired yet that we know of. And so, other than that, we know nothing.
It was a hectic morning for Mitch Krause and his significant other. The two own the Adaptive Performance Center on Broadwater Avenue, giving them the perfect view to the scene.
We've seen a drone in the air. They've got the SWAT bear and the sheriff's armored car here. And all the police officers and everybody are all armored up and everything, so they're ready to go.
Around 8:50 a.m. Friday, the Billings Police Department received a call saying a man driving a black Dodge truck was driving recklessly and was most likely drunk.
They went all the way up here to 15th. During that time, the driver still was driving erratically, causing some pretty severe concern for the public safety.
That led to a pursuit, which ended when the suspect, 42-year-old Russell Passons, finally pulled over near the intersection of 15th Street and Broadwater Avenue. But that was far from case closed.
We've been here about an hour, and really, we've just been seeing the police actions.
Police say Passons refused to get out of his truck. A SWAT team arrived, and so did dozens of police officers and sheriff's deputies.
That driver is refusing to comply with any requests or commands from the officers. Because of that, we've brought in our SWAT team and then also our hostage negotiators. We're also working with family of the individual or known parties to the individual.
1 hour became 2, with the man still refusing to get out of the truck. By then, extra police had arrived to the scene, bringing water SWAT members as the temperatures rose. Then, finally, around 10:50 a.m., progress. A shirtless Passons got out of the truck, but was still allegedly resisting arrest.
They did deploy a less lethal shotgun one time, and then ended up also releasing one of the canines.
That non-lethal shot, beanbags. Passons was arrested and will likely be charged with eluding a police officer, obstructing and resisting arrest, criminal endangerment, possession of dangerous drugs, and a DUI. In Billings, Matt Carmack, MTN News.
Thousands on the western side of the state are still without power after a devastating storm ripped up power lines and trees across the area. The storm, which saw wind speeds of more than 100 miles per hour, eliminated power for more than 40,000 people Wednesday night. As of yesterday, only about half had been restored. And Northwestern Energy says that some customers might be without energy for several more days despite their efforts. Currently, more than 100 utility workers are out fixing lines and cleaning up debris as crews continue to assess the damage. Missoula was among the communities hit the hardest and saw hundreds of trees flattened and cars beneath those trees crushed.
Well, thankfully, it's a lot quieter and calmer around the Missoula area, but southern Montana and northern Wyoming still have lots of active weather right now. Showers and storms firing from near Lima and Menida Pass, northeastward all the way toward Park County, Sweetgrass and Stillwater County, Carbon County too. We've already had some thunderstorms around Livingston. Active weather pushing over Big Timber, approaching Columbus. Also has some thunder showers and storms around Red Lodge. Then we head into southern northern parts of Wyoming. We have more thunderstorms around Cody. Also some showers approaching Sheridan right now and some lingering rain showers in far eastern Montana. Baker had an all-time record of 109 yesterday, but currently it's more cloudy with 70s. I'll have your 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
The back and forth situation at Tongue River Reservoir State Park continued today as the park is back open tonight after a fast-moving wildfire forced campers to evacuate just 1 day ago. Evacuation started at 4 a.m. Thursday as people at 70 campsites in the park were told to pick up their stuff and leave. The Badger Creek fire, which started in Wyoming, has burned about 6,000 acres, but fire crews have made significant progress fighting the blaze, so much so that the park is once again open and welcoming boaters this weekend. This is the second time campers have been allowed back into the park in the past 2 weeks. And those fire concerns continue to be a focus all across the state, including in Yellowstone National Park. The park released some important information for anyone hoping to camp there this weekend. Fire danger levels are currently very high, which means Stage 1 restrictions will take effect tomorrow. That means no campfires in the backcountry are allowed right now. Campfires are still allowed in designated fire pits within campgrounds. Here in Billings, the Mustangs are thanking their lucky stars that a broken irrigation pipe didn't lead to major issues with their season. The team is currently on the road in Missoula, which is good timing, as Billings Parks and Rec announced that contractors are working to fix the issue. The good news is that they have come up with a temporary solution that will reroute the water, ensuring that the field will be watered and still playable. The Mustangs are scheduled to return to dealer next Tuesday.